Welcome back to Harley's Modern Life. I am Harley once again. We are back with the Buick Lucerne. The day after the last video, they had a lot of rain. I couldn't get the headlights finished, but it is the day after that now, and they are both done, looking lovely. If you can probably see, we're going to get an up-close shot of that and try not to die from all these mosquitoes that are eating me up. We're going to be moving on to other projects today, and should be a much shorter video. Not trying to get you with another half an hour one. I think what we're probably going to do is address the roof issue we have going on back here. I went to go pick it up and the guy slapped it and said, "You can fit so many Reese's cups in here," and just there it went. So we're going to go take a closer look at the headlights, a closer look at those dents, and see what we can do about maybe getting some of that taken care of. Future Harley here, aka Post Project Harley. I am going to let you guys know that I'm going to be editing this one differently, where it's not going to be the entire project. You're not going to see me walking around. Not going to see every well, you'll see all the steps, but you won't see every second of it. It's going to be maybe a little bit jumpier because I'll be on one side of the car than the other side of the car, because there's no point in you watching me walk around. I'm trying to keep this time frame down to make it a little bit more watchable. But you will get to see all the steps, all the advice, everything like that. Just a heads up that it's going to be some jump cuts, and I think that's all you really need to know. All right, back to you, Past Harley. All right, here are those headlights up close. You can see the slurry that's come off from the sanding, which once again I've got to wash the car. You can see it's pretty bad. Yeah, it sat for a couple of years before I got a hold of it. So they are looking pretty good. This one, the texture actually came out a little more bumpy than I would like. Maybe you can see that there. I'm probably going to go back and hit that with the number 4 one more time in the polishing compound. But we've got a few dents to take care of. We've got this guy right here, which has got a high point there. I can maybe tap down and get out. I'll show you a trick with some hot glue sticks that'll help with that. This, I may have to pull the whole fender to actually get that out, because it's got a hard crease down in there and some chipped paint. The mirror is missing. We'll address that later. We've got this dent right here as well, and that chipped paint as well. That's got a hard crease right there. That's going to be hard to take care of, but maybe we can do something with that. But here we come to the big issue. She is pretty caved in up top. Now, normally, if you have just somebody stepped on your roof or something, you can sometimes go up underneath and just push it. But a tree actually fell on this car, which has left a hard crease on the back corner, a hard crease right here, and a little bit of a hard crease right here. And those hard creases will actually, where the metal has been compressed right here, is what caused that kink. And that'll keep this dent from releasing all the way, because this needs to have the pressure relieved off of it. So does this. Now this one I'm not going to be able to do much about, because I'd have to tap it this way, and I've got glass in the way to keep that from happening. So I'm not sure this corner is going to work out perfectly, but we are going to see what we can do about it, and you'll get to see the before and after, and I'll give you a little bit of a walkthrough in the meantime of pushing up on here, tapping down on here, and why that works. So I'm now going to gather some tools, and we're going to set off on this roof right here and see if we can make anything happen with it. I'm by no means a body man or an expert metal man, but it has been an interest of mine for a while. I've watched some guys like Trev's blog and some other metal workers on YouTube that's given me the knowledge that I do have, and now I'm going to try to put that very limited knowledge into practice, and we will learn together what is effective and what is not. All right, so what we're going to want to do here is try to massage down those hard creases I was pointing out. That one, I'd probably have to take the headliner out and get it from underneath inside the car. I'm not sure I'm willing to take it that far. We'll see how it turns out. There's not really a hard crease here. Right over here on the other side, right over here, there's kind of a firm crease. And right now, I can't really find my soft hammer, my plastic mallet. So what I've done is taken a couple of rounds of Gorilla Tape and put on top of my body hammer, which I got this at Harbor Freight. Not really used it a lot. It's been a hobby for me just a little bit. What you want to do is relieve a little bit of the tension on the higher, harder creases that you can find, and just sort of massage them. And those little taps will actually make a little bit of that tension come out, even though nothing's happening on the roof yet. Sellotape's holding up all right. Wasn't sure how that was going to work. I don't want to mess up. Everywhere else doesn't have chips except for here and there. And this one, kind of need to go in from the side. The paint was already gone there, so no big deal. And then we'll start pushing up from the bottom a little bit. I bet if I get in the middle and give her a push, I can get a pretty good part of it to pop out. Let's find out. Oh, not much difference yet. We got a lot of creases. Let's see if I can get any more from the front. Yep, I think we're going to have to relieve a little bit more of that tension. It's those creases that are trying to hold this folded down. So, on this, that's a big curve. So what I'm going to do is take a wood block, since I don't have my plastic soft mallet, it's not going to hurt the paint. Put that wood block on there and see if I can give it some wax. Because with the crease there, and there, they're all, when that caved in, it pushed all that metal up. We've got to get all that metal to come down a little bit, so that this can relieve that tension and it can pop up. On the next attempt, I'll probably have my girlfriend help push in the back seat while I do the front seat. Let's massage that metal a little more first. And this will scuff your paint a little bit with the wood, but I plan on polishing the whole top. It's very dull, so not really worried. Yeah, just doing that right there, I saw this climb. So just on the back side of the hump, putting a little bit of that tension back that direction. Let's try that over here. So this is this is actually increased from here to here and over this way, so this one's going to be pretty difficult to get back flat. And this guy again. Kind of hard to hit right on that corner. All that tension's held right there. Yeah, that's taking some out. Let's see if we can do anything else with it right now. And if you are interested in this kind of stuff, I really do highly recommend you go look up Trev's blog. He does a bunch of incredible metal work. He does full metal finishes on all sorts of custom projects. And he understands the anatomy of metal. That's where I picked up a lot of my info from. And he can definitely explain it and tell you why and how and all that. But let's give her a push and see if we can't get a little bit more stress relief. It's just a bit at a time. Hammer down, relieve some stress, push, hammer, I think I see one more spot right here I want to try before we go any further. Yeah, definitely got some stress in that. And just like that, our roof is so much closer to flat now. Still got some spots now where this was stressed going the other direction when it was down there. So now I'll need to try to get the rest of that up. Now that I popped this back up, I put more tension back on the high spots because now it's pressed out even more. Whereas before this was caved down and it was able to relieve, but it did like that. Now it's up, it's bowed out. So I'll come around, I'll hit my high spots one more time, we'll come in, we'll press a little bit more, and we'll see if we can get any more progress out of it. But already it's looking a million times better. I don't know if you can see it from your angle. Let's see. I really kind of need to come up under here, but I don't know if I can get, yeah, that's up under that plastic trim, so I'll have to pull that loose if I want to get that. Might not be too bad once I get a little bit more pulled up. And you can also tell by the sound, you heard when I was hitting somewhere real deep sounding, when I get up here it's high pitched. So it's the high pitched noise you can tell is where you still have a lot of tension in the middle. I'm sure you could go watch Paintless Dent Repair guys, but what they would do for sure is pull out the whole headliner, and I'm not trying to get that deep into it. I'm still going to do the whole dash removal for a heater core later, and that's about as far as the interior as I want to get. Right. I'm betting, see, this seems to have a lot of tension removed. I can still feel a hump right here. Alright. I'm betting if I work that crown just over there, I might relieve enough tension to get this last bit to pop up some. We'll see. Still got a lot right there. Yep, right there specifically. See, when I'm hitting right here and bringing that tension out, I actually see that trying to pop up. So we'll work this last crown right here, see if we can get something. I think it just popped up a little more. As much as it shakes, it's hard for me to tell. Let's see about the front. Look at that. It's almost back to normal. Over here is fairly normal. We're a little low there. We're a little low just outside of my hand right here. I think probably have more tension there now. Right here I think we're pretty good. Right here I think we're pretty good. I never had any illusion that I was going to get this roof perfectly flat, but compared, I think we're doing good. So our main spots right now, this is still low. And now that it's almost flat, I don't know how well you can tell at all, but this part right through here is still dipped down. See, that way you can come back up when I press it. So we're going to try to get the tension out of here, out of right here. That seems to be the two major places that are pressing in here to keep this force down against that. Well, when I say tension, I really mean compression. The metal's been compressed this direction when the hood went flat, because it's arched. When you try to make it flat, it has to go somewhere. So it had to go over here, and that's what causes those sharp kinks and raise-ups. See if I can get anything on the middle here. Well, now it's up high enough, it's hard to get the headliner up that high. I'll have to sit in here and see what I can do. Yeah, that popped that up. We'll go ahead and tap this compression back out of it again. Could be a little right here. Probably definitely still some right here, because the dent kind of points down to this area. See if I can get this to come up at all. I mean, it's almost flat. I'm not sure I can get it much better. That little dip we might just have to live with. I'll try a little bit more compression removal, try to push it one more time, but I'm not sure. I can feel it coming to a point right there. I'm not sure I'll be able to do much more. It's hard to, roofs are flimsy. When you get it pretty close, unless you're doing a hammer and dolly and actually stretching and doing the metal, which I don't want to do because that'll mess your paint up bad. You'll have to use actual metal on it. Unless you're doing that, it's really hard to get a piece of metal perfectly smooth. Let's see what we can do. I think that's about as good as it's going to get. This part's still a little low. I'm going to try to remove this compression. I can feel that high point right there. Try to push that up. But then after that, is the way that corner looks, without taking the headliner out and actually pushing up on this side, because I can't tap it from the back because of the glass, I won't be able to get that much better, but I can live with that over there. That'll be fine. So we'll try this, see if we can get that a little better, and then that'll be it. I'll be satisfied with this compared to, I mean, it was caved in. When it rained, it would pool up about this much water. So 3-4 inches of water. And now it should shed all right off. There's not any place for it to collect. One thing about working metal, when you rub your hand across, your hand's very good at telling differences in surfaces. So I can feel real easily if there's a dent here, and there's a peak here, another little dent on this side. Peak that goes right there, a little bit right there. See if we can get the compression out of those. And it's actually kind of convenient that I'm using this wood block, because it's left nice little marks for you to see where I've been making my impacts, and with me pointing out the dents, you can kind of see where you'd need to do it if you were doing it yourself. I'm sure this has been a very pleasant video with all the banging. Alright, let's give that a try. Not sure this one's going to want to come up much more either, because it's almost flat. Yep, I think that's going to be good. Next salesman tries to slap the roof of my car and talk about how many Reese's Pieces it can fit in there. That's a no-go. Alright guys, we've done a pretty good job on that roof, and I never expected it to be perfect in the first place. Like I said, I just wanted it to not be shaped like a hammock. It might have been comfortable to sleep in, but I've got a bed inside and I'd prefer to use that anyway. So on our next project, I think we might be taking on the dent right over here on this fender. Now the roof was one thing because I was able to get underneath and access the back of the panel or the underside of the panel and push up, because you're going to need, in most cases, to apply force outward from the dent. And when we go to tackle that fender, I'll show you another clever little trick that you can use, because you're not going to be able to access the back of the fender without taking the inner liner off, and sometimes you still can't get where you need to get. So the fender has 2 high points. We're going to do the same thing, massage those down, and I'll show you the trick on how you can pull from the outside using household materials that you probably already have. You don't need a body hammer or anything like that. You can use your regular old claw hammer that you have. Just put a little tape on there, use a little block of wood, put some tape on your wood. That'll keep it from scuffing the paint as much. But again, I'm going to polish this whole car because it's dull, it's dingy. Later video, we're going to get into paint restoration, how you do that. That requires, I mean, really you can do it with elbow grease and a couple things you can pick up at the parts store, but I'm going to hopefully be able to dig out my buffing wheel, and that'll make it a lot faster. Picked one of those up for like 30 bucks. So anything that I'm doing here, I'm trying to do on the cheap. It's not going to be too much of an investment, and you can do yourself. It's all not very complicated. You just need a couple little skills in order to get there, and a little bit of practice will go a long way. I think that's about it. Thank you guys for watching Harley's Modern Life, and I hope you are doing well wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time.